So now we have a pretty good understanding of how identifiers define the data that we want to include in our set analysis. Now what we want to look at are the modifiers, and this is where you filter your data, if you will, or predicate your data to affect a measure calculation. So without further ado, let's jump in and have a good look at this. The identifiers have specified to the set analysis expression that this is the data we want to include, but that set of data we're including needs to be filtered in some way for your expression to work the way you want it to work. So for example, if I'm looking at the stock on hand for the period of January and February, I need to basically build up a set modifier within this expression to tell set analysis that's what the filtration will be. So let's jump into the expression and have a look how to do this. So as you recall, we always have our set analysis within the curly brackets, and the modifiers themselves will actually be angle brackets left and right. So anything we want to do to modify the data set that's coming back for our aggregation to work over will be contained within our modifier brackets. So just remember that everything you want to do to influence the filtration of data for your aggregation must happen inside these brackets. So for this example, I'm interested in returning all of January and February. Now, just one little point here. January and February month abbreviations appear to be a string, but as far as Qlik is concerned, within the model, that abbreviation is a date type, all right? It's held within the model as a date. So dates don't require any delimiter. In other words, if we had a string, we'd have to use quotes like that. So let's just explore this. So I'm looking for my month abbreviation. I'm going to accept it from the drop-down list. I'm going to specify equals because it's a test, and you recall with our if then else construct, we did an if month abbreviation equals. But the difference here is I can't just put the value such as this. It will just not work. What will happen is you'll see this appear on the screen, a 0. From a rules point of view, this is not what we do in set analysis. We must enclose the search criteria in the modifier between curly braces. So now let's apply this, and you'll see we have a value here for January of 120.9. Now, if I want to include another value in here, I can just simply add a comma and say include February. Click apply, and there we have the value for February. And indeed, I could continue to add more and more criteria here. Now, let's say I wanted to influence the data set by another value. So let's say I'm looking for a supplier, and I'm going to say supplier country equals Germany in this case. So now we're talking about a string. So I'm going to do a test for Germany. And in this case, because it's not a date data type, and we'll talk more about data types later on. So in this case, I'm testing supplier country equals Germany. So let's click apply. And now we've seen that for January and February, our supplier country of Germany, we have actually 30,000 stock items on hand. So that's fairly straightforward, isn't it? So that's the sort of criteria we use when building set modifiers. Indeed, as per the month abbreviation, I could also include Japan in here. And click apply, and there's 47.45 stock on hand across those two countries for those 2 months. So really it's not a difficult exercise to understand set analysis. Now this is a fairly straightforward example. We can actually get into some more complex examples as we move forward, and I'll demonstrate these as we move through the course. But if you've got a good handle on this particular type of syntax, then, and I recommend you practice this and play with it, you'll actually be well advanced into writing complex expressions within set analysis. And I thoroughly recommend you use this wherever you can, just to keep your practice up. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is end this lecture. It's just a quick one. And the next couple of lectures, I'm going to demonstrate some more interesting set analysis calculations to enhance the value of this current dashboard sheet. So I'll see you in there.